Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 6 of the Emberpelts, where we're prioritizing beautification and the well-being of our beavers. Now, walking through our little city is a little bit rough on the camera. There's a lot of janky motion, so let me get out of this and have a look from the top as we usually do. There are a couple of things that we want to continue to build and obviously add on top of everything we're doing. One thing that will be nice to kind of try to wrap up is all of this. Most importantly, we do have 5 unemployed beavers, which means I should be building a bit of extra, utilities. So let's throw another builder's hut in. And another beaver just grew up, so excellent, I guess. But more importantly, in this episode, I do want to focus on creating our press system. Now, I had taken, like I mentioned before, a little bit of a break, but I think for this, we definitely just need the canola oil. And this should be all of our canola seeds. So they are slowly growing, which is fine. But let's see what else we can actually make out of this. So we do have potential for apple juice. We have no apples around. We're not going to do that. Tomato juice. No tomatoes left. Beet and radish juice. I guess we do have quite a bit of radishes, but no beets. Corn juice could actually work. So let's set you up to do corn juice, which is corn water, and that turns it into... And corn juice just sounds super weird, doesn't it? But who am I to judge? So with that set up, we also want to make sure we're putting another press in, just right next to it, and this will become our little press corner. So making sure this is a little bit higher on the priority list, because it will take a while before they finish the entire dam over here. But once all of that is in and we're kind of wrapping up the area in front of it, we're in really good shape to kind of just wrap up our water plants. I forgot why I paused this. So let's actually add this in, and we can actually add all of these on top as well. So the only thing that is missing to actually get up here would be a staircase that goes all the way up. Now, we do not have ladders in this mod, if you recall. And that means we're just gonna make a little bit more space. 4 should be enough. So let's do that. And then go ahead and add this up. Right here to here, one there. And then we're just gonna set the highest priority to the first one in the hope that our beavers won't get stuck. Knowing them, they absolutely will, because, that's just what they do. All right. Besides that, everything else is looking, I want to say, pretty okay. They're not harvesting the peppers, I guess because we're not making use of the peppers, because we still need the canola oil, but we're getting there. Need more planks, more gears, basically everything. It is probably a high time that we also build another lumber mill and start moving our industry area, like I mentioned last time, somewhere up here. So let's go ahead and actually just do that right away. What would be the best way to plan this out? So if we're going into here, we could actually place some vertical power shafts to get from this part here all the way up here. And I think that makes the most sense. So let's just do that. No, still one higher. There we go. And then connect this in here. And then once we have a platform in, we can easily bridge over and then have power on the other side. There we go. Right. However, this is obviously not enough power for our purposes. So what I am thinking, well, one thing that we could do surprised that this stopped. I guess that's fine. One thing that we could do is actually make better use of the entire outflow here. But most importantly, I guess we do have engines that we could utilize. Never seen that before. What does it take as input? Oil? Their refinery makes oil, bad water, and clay. Takes 2 hours to make 15 of it. Or if we do, what is the best source? Corn and water. I like the idea, to be honest. Because with that, we could relatively easily power the big engine, liquid fuel engine, which, yes, it uses up a good amount of that liquid fuel, but look at that, 1,000 power. With 2 of that, we'd be pretty peachy, I would say. Now, if we want to do that, we need to plant more corn, obviously. So where should we actually plant this? This area up here, like I mentioned before, I think I did at least, we're gonna leave open for a lumberjack, because yeah, that just makes a ton of sense. And then I guess this area down here is not being utilized, so we could, in theory, put another farmhouse here just for creating corn for oil production. Things lacking material, we do need more corn anyways, and they have now cleared this area behind the farmhouse, so let's go ahead and plant the corn in there. And with that, I think we're kind of in an okay spot. I did tell them to slightly higher prioritize this. They can't reach any of that. I guess that makes sense too. Happiness has increased, so I'm happy about that. And that is probably, no, I was just going to say that is probably because they drank some corn juice, but it's not the corn juice. Are we making canola oil? Where is it? Here we go. We are making canola oil, which means we are making grilled peppers. And that will definitely help the overall well-being of our beavers. All right. They are building all of this already. That's pretty cool. We have another 5 unemployed beavers. Builder huts not doing anything. We are low on logs. That explains a ton. Just noticing there's an entire row. I guess we left this specifically out, so we have like a noise buffer towards this area. Yeah, it kind of makes sense, unfortunately. But where else could we really plant some more trees? Well, one thing we do have... Why do we have a... Oh, yeah, I was just going to say, why do we have a lumberjack back here? But that makes sense. We do have the gatherer flag back here for this. And that means we can actually remove all of the berry bushes here. So let's go ahead and do that, because that will give us additional space to plant more trees. Now, technically not from this guy, because, well, he can't reach. So let's put a wooden path in here and actually connect this up all the way to the front. There we go. Then destroy this part here. And then we can very easily put another forester up on the gray area. And that one will be able to plant more trees up there. I think that will make a ton of sense. All right. Ultimately, in the long run, we don't actually need more lumberjacks because they can reach everything. So that's pretty nice. So let's go ahead for now and just put down the pine trees over here and fill up the rest with oaks. So hopefully in the long term, well, medium term, I guess, our lumberjacks will actually be able to do a little bit more. And not have us wait for forever to get to, trees. I mean, there are some trees that we could try to recover over here. These lumberjacks won't reach the oaks right there. That's also okay, though. Wait, where did all the bad water go? Oh, I see. I forgot to close the stuff at the bottom. All right. With that being closed, that is good. We'll start to store more bad water. And then I guess I was thinking utilizing this overall as a battery, but we still need to store it first. We can't just let this go out of here. And then, us being... Yeah, you guys know what I mean. We're basically just leaking all of the bad water. All right. So, because we need more logs, temporarily, we're also gonna put in another forester up here. There we go. Let's set you to the highest priority. The big problem is we don't have logs. That also means we don't have planks. Pretty much shortage on everything. Cool stuff. And it's gonna be fun to watch, don't you think? There's a tree that wasn't marked, so we can fix that. Gives us a little bit of logs. And I guess some of the pine trees up here have finally grown as well. Oh, look at that. We do actually have the planks in here, so I am gonna didn't need to destroy that. Apparently, we had all the material that we needed over here. So let me go ahead and place the entire area here, or make the entire area here ready for oak trees. With a little gap, of course, for our lumberjacks. Actually, just 2 will be fine. Go. And then we set 2 lumberjacks up here to the harvesting. Well, wood chopping. Same difference. Right. Just to make sure we cover everything that we can, I'm just gonna go a little bit crazy and overly mark everything to be planted. There we go. In addition, we could consider chopping down the trees up here. Not entirely sure if it's worth it. I think for now, it's kind of okay. You don't have any power either. Again, that kind of tracks. On the bright side, our canola production seems pretty stable. What we do really need is a storage facility for the canola oil. And that means we should try to figure out a liquid storage area. Probably close to these guys. So I guess what we could do is plant it somewhere over here. So if we're gonna go ahead and do that, so that would be 1 medium storage, 2 medium storages. And then let's see on the other side, we can do 1 more here and 1 more there. Which gives us probably not enough in terms of juice. We have 4 of the juices and 1 of the canola oils. So let's extend this then a little bit to that. And then we can add our wooden path. Don't need a railing. Guess not. Just over here. Oh, and then, of course, making sure I'll actually end up all the way there. Don't need, too late. I was just gonna say don't need this one. But I guess they have built it already, so fair enough. All right. Wood supply slowly coming in here. We do have 3 open positions, not that we're really going to use them. The tree farm back here seems to be doing okay, to be honest. What I might want to do though is move you and kind of beautify this area a little bit more. Yeah, if we add more bell peppers right here, and we can add a bit more corn. These two. There we go. And for now, it kind of, you know, will do that. Overall, we're doing okay in terms of food. Which I still find a bit surprising because we only have 1 farm. Yeah, and that farm alone is doing a pretty good job. All right. Let's have another look at the power. So we can't use logs because we don't have logs. We could build the engine that utilizes, I'm assuming that is clay. Clay. Charcoal. Charcoal needs logs, so we can't do that either. So maybe we go Phoenix Distillery for the production of Phoenix essence. Interesting. No idea what that's for. All right. What if we built the refinery though? And utilize the corn that we have to actually turn it into energy. Let's see. Corn might be the way to go. Because we can't do anything with radishes, right? Yeah, it looks like the other energy source was beets. You know what? Let's try this. Just because we can. So let's put a refinery here. What do you guys need? Planks, gears, metal blocks. I have almost everything except for the planks, so that should be done pretty quick. And then we can, like I said, think about putting some engines in there. It is pretty darn good that this is the same size as our Wheel of Shaming, I guess. So radishes. Oh, we do have radishes. But corn gave us the better result. Did it? Not here. Where do I need to look? Here. Yeah, 2 corn and 3 water gives us 50 of that power source. That's actually not bad. If we are gonna go ahead and turn off the corn juice, we can start collecting some corn. I guess we are roasting or grilling some of it, which is fine overall. Yeah, I think that's not a bad plan. But in the meantime, I think what we might just do is build a bit more density, because we do have now 4 open positions that we can fill. Not that we need to fill these, but I think it will be good to fill these. And we had talked about putting these 2 in here. So let's go ahead and do that for now. Trees are now more regularly coming back in. Our tree supply is going up. So overall, that is pretty darn good. And our refinery is coming along as well. For now, do we need more metal blocks at the moment? I don't think so. They're doing a pretty good job at building this up though, so that is quite nice. And yeah, we do need to build to this level, up to this level, to get everything done. So I guess we could go ahead and place a temporary staircase in here so we can finish up these parts. Connect this up. Too far from the district center. I guess that kind of tracks. If we just want to keep a little bit of water in, we could also put a little dam piece in here, so it doesn't go all the way back out. So that could be nice, but we definitely need to increase the height over here. So let's go ahead and plan for that. I guess we don't need platforms for now. Let's just put in levees. And I will pause this guy, because from here they can actually reach all of that. So I might actually even unmark all of, you know what, let's unmark all of that too. There we go. And then put in staircases so they can reach the top there. And just to make sure, we're going to set this on the highest priority. We're going to set all of these on the highest priority. And this as well. Because once they have built all of this, they will be able to build the rest from the top. And let me go ahead and just make a bit more space for me to look at stuff. We can always put this back in when we need it. There we go. And then we kind of need to figure out how to build that part up as well. Getting there, slowly but steadily. So overall, that's not too bad. The refinery is in, which is awesome. You already have 150 fuel. Darn. Right. So let's see. For the power of this, we need 20 logs. We're getting some logs. 50 gears. Ooh. So we need some gear storage. Since this up here will turn into our industry area, we could turn this into an overall storage area. And we have a pathway down here, which I think might not be a bad idea. So still keep a bit of separation, and technically a storage area is pretty good at keeping noise at bay. So let's do that. What we want to build is, I guess a large one would be nice, but we don't quite need it. So let's go ahead and place a medium warehouse. Large industrial pile. Wait, let me pause this or remove this. If we're removing the path here, which we really don't need, to be honest, what we can do is put a warehouse facing this way. Let me actually move this one over facing this way, and then put a large storage pile just on top. And that can store our gears. And you can store our planks. You can still store our logs. That is fine. And all we need to do in order to get up here, place a staircase here, as well as I guess a platform makes sense. Just like that. All right, we want to make sure our medium warehouse is prioritized because we need that fast. You don't actually need to be here at the moment. How's this actually coming along? The logs are all in. Pretty cool. Bricks are, well, not so much. I guess that kind of makes sense because I don't think we're producing bricks anymore. I think this was our clay mine. And then if you're a charcoal person, we don't have anything for bricks. Huh. Wait, you have charcoal? Where's the charcoal coming from? Why do you have charcoal? Am I missing something? Where's our charcoal person? Maybe you just started and you're slowly gonna run this down? I don't know. Alright, the medium warehouse is in at least, so that's pretty good. What do we have? Where are you guys? Of course you're here. How? Alright. Sorry guys, emergency shift. Seriously. Alright, once this is in, last one is coming along. Quick pause. There we go. And now I can remove the staircase again. That was not necessary. Right. And the next thing we're gonna do is put the levee back in. Making sure this is slightly higher priority, just like the others, so they can finish this side completely. All right. Overall, not doing too bad. One injured beaver. Do we even have a clinic area? I honestly don't think so. So that is something we should definitely fix. Can't get all the required, but all the required materials are in. What are you talking about? Huh. All right. So I think it is time to figure out how we're going to plan to move all of this up here. So we can already put in, would be very nice to have. So we're definitely going to put that in, and maybe even the large gear workshop. Interestingly, you do need planks and gears at the same time, even though they are supposed to be the ones to create them. But, you know, that's just what it is. How is the rest coming along? Yep, they're happily making all of this. Good, good, good. Oh, they've also built a good amount of this part of the dam. Very nice. All right, let's make sure this part here is actually the highest priority. I do want them to finish that first. I mean, first, so to speak, because they can't get to the ones further in the back. It will actually be a lot slower, but that's also kind of why we should prioritize it. What we can do also to speed this up a little bit more is put levee system up here. I will remove the forester now, because we will not be in that situation where we're going to replant the oak trees. 30 days, I'm not entirely sure if we're even going to use them once. Yeah, that's on me. Didn't really plan this through, apparently. But that's also okay. In the meantime, how many gears? 30 we have. What we're actually going to do up here, just to keep things rolling a little bit more. We're going to add a regular gear workshop. Actually, the large one is 1, 2, 3 wide and 3 deep, I think. So we're gonna keep that space available. So we will need the planks a bit more. So I'm gonna add the lumber mill here. Then we're gonna keep a space of 1, add a gear workshop here. And for now, connect this up with a power shaft in the middle. Right. Next thing we're going to do is add some power production over on this side. I think that will be fine, especially since our refinery, for now at least, is down there. So I put that in. We're also going to set this on the highest priority. And maybe we should actually set these on the highest priority too. Because once they are done and in, all of them, we're in a much better shape of keeping production of everything up and running. All right, you need more bricks. That reminds me. Clay pit. Which we can actually put, so since this will fill up with water, I think a clay pit close to the water will make a ton of sense. So we're going to add, we could actually add you back here. Not quite close to the water, but this is actually a pretty good spot for you. So let's go ahead and path with railings. Make sure you are connected up. And just to confirm, our lumber mill, yep, is also 3 deep. So that is pretty good. All right. Now, you also, obviously, you do need power. So we need to actually set you up at the top somewhere. Which makes me think it would make sense, sorry about that, to move you one further back. There we go. Because then we can add a path in front of it and also bridge over here, which will help us ultimately quite a bit as well. So we're going to go ahead, vertical power shaft on both sides, add a platform in the middle, and again connect all of this up again with regular power shafts. There we go. And then we can create another refinery, which was in science. Here we go, and place you right there. All right, still setting this on the highest priority. I do need this to be finished as well, and quickly. Ish, at least. We also actually need the bricks, so I need to set you on the highest priority, and then we can shift the recipe over whenever we need it. All right. Dam's coming along okay. Can't reach this. Okay. Easy fix. There we go. And then we should also actually go ahead and make sure the paths go in both directions here as well. All right. Things are coming along. This seems to be more of a production episode rather than a happiness episode, and that is just not okay. So what can we do in order to increase the happiness? Butt scratchers. That sounds like a genius idea to do. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. And maybe it is now time that we actually utilize that space here in the back. Can make it look kind of nice, I hope. If we add 1, 2... How could we make this look pretty? Up here could be also a good space. But I feel like there would be a little bit of privacy that our beavers want. So for now, we do want to be close by to our housing. I could actually set you up here. If we put one here, one there. facing both in this direction and one here. Let's actually do that. One there, and one there. And then we're going to make sure that we have the paths, all of the paths connected. It will also allow us to add a bit of decorations around it. This would be kind of nice to place somewhere. Does it make sense here though? I think what we really need is shrubs kind of in front of this, in between them as well. Let's also set this up. You guys can actually reach this from the back. And then let's see, what else do we have? Hedges. Yeah, they don't look quite as nice. What could look nice though is to have this overlook these in both corners. So let's put these down and just make sure we're for now just filling all of the rest up with a bit more of the trees. All right. High priority. There we go. Happiness will then increase. And I think we do get another bonus at 17 happiness. Let's see. Oh, you're already at 19. 15. Yep. No, at 17. Yep. We get another 20% of lifespan. And that will definitely be very, very useful. All right. We're also getting this done, which is pretty good. Oh, look at that. The clay mine is in, which means we should unpause you and set you to do bricks. You still haven't used up your charcoal. I guess you only need you make 10, meaning 20 metal blocks before you actually even use up one of the charcoals. And we do still have 16 somewhere. Somewhere in stock. All right. Otherwise, things are coming along pretty well. Look at this. Butt scratchers are in. You guys are on highest priority as well. But you're probably putting all the metal blocks in here. So let's actually slightly lower prioritize the power. Because as per usual, we want them to improve happiness first. And then they can figure out the rest of things. How's this? Ah, I forgot to connect it up. Here we go. Now you guys can build this again. In the meantime, they have almost built the entire area here, which is pretty nice. So, yeah. Good to see. Where are our metal blocks? Metal blocks are coming in as well. Now, both the butt scratchers and the statues, the beaver busts, should actually improve the happiness of our beavers. What are you carrying around? Oh, you're bringing bricks. Oh, look at that. This house is in as well. 19 sleeping spots. And then we're getting a ton more influx for this one, which will be done the next day, I'm hoping. And the statue will also be done very soon. Cool. Oh, we do have metal blocks available. Just no one to pick them up? Drought started. Now that is bad timing. Because that means we will actually put in a manual power wheel up here. Set you on the highest priority. And I think then we're just going to remove this entire industry area down here as well. Should plan a little bit ahead. So we want a path up here. This will turn into staircases, and then we can connect this up. You need to be a staircase too. There we go. because this will then allow us to have a shorter route from our industry center up here to our storage area that we're building out here. Yep, and I think that will look overall quite nice. All right, logs are coming in, only 5 more. It is kind of the end of the day, so what I am going to do already is remove all of these. That will also free up some more resources for us, which will be quite nice. But I don't think it will help the liquid fuel production. Liquid fuel engine, sorry, up here. But in the meantime, what do we have in terms of small industrial pile? We could place one here or here for now. I'm gonna do that so we can store some of the metal blocks, because that will immediately make some more of that available. One of the reasons, I guess, why we're not producing so much is we're actually not overloading our power supply up here that much anymore. And look at that. Speaking of the devil, the statues are in. And at the same time, they're also almost done with this part right here, which I think overall means we had a good episode. So I'm gonna quickly have a look right there. Look at this. Wouldn't you wanna... That actually looks... Let's just gonna say very painful. He loves it. All right. Anyways. So with that, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.